Hey, it's another week, and I have another stack of comics from my favorite LCS. Let me share what I got. So this is James here from Readward Comics. Starting off, please do like, share, subscribe, hit me up on Instagram. If you enjoy listening to me ramble on about comic books, things I enjoy collecting, and books that I'm reading. So to start out, as I shared, I went to my LCS. I was not able to hit them up on New Comic Book Day, but it was Friday when I went to Buy Me Toys, my favorite LCS in Northern Indiana. Had just enough time to go in, and then I had a couple errands to run before dinner. So didn't get a lot of time to look to see what else was on the shelf or talk to Casey and Kelly there at Buy Me Toys, which I always enjoy doing. They have a very, as LCS owners, they have a lot of insight into comic book collecting. Anyway, oh, and in the industry. Anyway, let's get to it. This is a pretty heavy week for me. I think I have a little bit more than a dozen books. What interested me when I kind of counted them out, I only have a few Marvel books, which didn't totally surprise me. But then the rest are almost evenly split between both DC books, which as more of a DC fanboy, doesn't surprise me at all. But then indie books, which they've been kind of creeping onto my sub list lately and into my pull box. So let's get to it. These are going to be the Marvel books to start with. So first up, we got Miles Morales, issue number 24. This is the second issue with the relative of one of Miles's friends, um, the Condor. He's coming back. That was kind of the cliffhanger for issue number 23. This is all complicated by some fallout from the Blood Hunt mini. I didn't get the Blood Hunt mini, but I did read all the Miles Morales comic books. I did pull all of those. And so I know that during that event, he did become a vampire after being bitten by Blade, and he's dealing with the fallout of that. What I'm enjoying about this is it's an additional challenge for Miles Morales and how he interacts with other people, how he maintains his sense of right and wrong, and kind of holds back on just letting loose on bad guys and being a vampire. And how he's turning to his safety net to help him out, which is one of, I think, the strengths of Miles Morales in the current volume. But it shows up in everything with him in it that his family, his friends are that safety net. Okay, so this is issue number 24. If you're looking at an on-ramp, issue number 23 is a pretty good choice. I'd also recommend getting the annual, which came out last month. No, 2 months ago. Yeah, in July. Next up is a one-shot. This is kind of a tie-in, I guess, of the Acolyte. I don't expect we're going to see a Acolyte mini, a comic book adaptation of the Acolyte, considering the way it unfortunately died. You know, it went the way of the dodo. And it doesn't matter what my feelings of the show was, it's just gone, and Disney gets to make that choice. But this is a tie-in for one of the characters. This is the Acolyte Kelnaka, which is occurring during the High Republic, but because of the time difference between the rest of the High Republic volumes, I think I just finished volume 3. I'm not sure what the connection is going to be. It's in that era of the High Republic. What I found is in the past, if any Star Wars book just remotely interests me, it's better to purchase it now, pre-order it now, subscribe to it now, than after the fact and trying to chase it either in back issue bins or on the secondary market. It saves me time. It's going to save me effort, but also it's going to save me some money because some of these books on the secondary market are a little bit more expensive. So we have the Acolyte Kelnaka. This right here is the A cover by Phil Noto. Next up, we have a bunch of DC books. This is the Penguin issue number 12. This is the B cover. I'm not sure who did it. This is the end of Tom King's Maxi series, which has been really fun. If you enjoy a kind of underworld crime boss type story, I highly recommend checking out Tom King's maxi series on this. The Penguin is the main character. He's returning to Gotham after faking his own death, and he's trying to regain his status in the Gotham underworld as kind of the crime boss Sigma, if you will. I teach middle school, so I'm down with the lingo, yo. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun. It's a little grittier than you'd expect. Other, and I know this sounds kind of like ironic. It's grittier because the main character is a bad guy. Where a Batman story, yes, it's the Dark Knight, but it's not the same. His adversaries, primarily the big two, are his own children who were his. They ended up inheriting everything when he died. And so he's coming back and he's trying to take over because these two people, his two kids, his son and daughter, they don't have the sense of, I don't know, community stewardship, I guess, balance that the Penguin did. He understood that there were lines you just couldn't cross. His kids don't seem to get that. So anyway, we got Penguin number 12. A little bit behind on reading that, but I'm looking forward to seeing how it ends. This is another one shot. This is Trinity World's Finest issue number 1. I went with this cover. Sorry, the colors are a little difficult. Let's see if we get it way back here. No. Okay. So it's kind of a pink. And then we have on it 2 corgi. And I love dogs. I don't have corgis, but I think they're freaking hysterical based on what I see on YouTube and reels on Instagram. Anyway, not going to spoil it for you, but this is Damian Wayne. He's been turned into a corgi. This is John Kent. He's been turned into a corgi. This is Trinity over here. Wonder Woman's daughter. This book right here collects all the backstory in what book is it? It's Batman and Robin. They have a secondary story, and it's been just this really fun focus on the Super Sons and Trinity, which eventually are going to be like the big three at some point in the future. It's kind of jumps back and forth in time. Earlier on, it was focusing on when she was like a toddler and then when she was in elementary school. And it always takes place with the Super Sons babysitting Trinity for Wonder Woman for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. And so I picked it up while I have the story collected in the back of the Batman and Robin books. Is it Batman and Robin? Yes, it is Batman and Robin. I just wanted it all in one book. I love the characters. So, and you want to support good characters. You want to support good stories. I have several mini-series or maxi-series that are winding down in September. I think I counted it. It's a good third or so of my polls. My subscription list is evaporating because of them just ending. This is one of them. This is The Boy Wonder. This is a black label title. I went with the B cover right here. And this just follows Damian Wayne interacting with several of the other Robins, dealing with a supernatural event while his father, Bruce Wayne, is out of the city. Okay. It's as a black label title. It's going to be a little bit more violent. They're able to get away with more. They might have some language that you wouldn't see in normal books. Generally speaking, I've really enjoyed all the black label books I've read, even though they're non-canon. Anyway, it does seem though like DC is kind of winding down that label, which that's kind of more's the pity because I really do think there's a place for a more mature title. I'm not saying like, something beyond the pale, but you could have an R-rated book and, write it for adults. It's going to be maybe more violent. There's going to be some language. It's a more mature story that isn't going to fit in a normal comic book for the shelf. Anyway, Next up, we have Batman issue number 152. I believe this is a Chip Zdarsky story. I believe this is still, it's either the main story or the backstory, the B story. I'm drawing a blank. It's been a long day. I've been moving a lot of heavy things today. Anyway, the backstory is connecting to the Absolute Powers event, I believe. Anyway, this is a really cool cover. I don't know who the artist is for this. I think what we're seeing here, because Mattina was doing a good solid run of Batman covers ever since there was the AI fallout, the bad AI fallout this summer, his work has kind of vanished. I think he's been doing some stuff for some indie books. It's a shame. I think he's a great artist if he would just show it, you know. Anyway, next up we have Absolute Power issue number 3 by Mark Waid, Dan Mora on art. I don't know what cover this is, but it's not a this cover, it's a this cover, which is pretty sweet. It would have been awesome if this was a wraparound cover too. It's not though. Absolute Power has been a fun event. I wasn't going to be pulling it, but I read issue number 1. I think, did my LCS have a special cover? No, I got into it and I've been pulling them since then. I think one of the better writers right now DC has, and DC has a stable of solid writers and solid artists, but Mark Waid is swinging for the fences right now. Here is another solid writer. This is Poison Ivy issue number 25. This is supposed to be a bigger issue. This is G. Willow Wilson is doing the writing, and they have a couple different artists that are doing the pencils on this. I'm going to try to show the cover, but because of the colors, I'm not sure if it's going to show. Okay, can you see it? Okay, right down. Oh, I'm sorry. Right over here, it says Poison Ivy. Okay, yeah, it's just, there we go. Okay, it's a really light cover. This has been an awesome book. When DC was doing their team variants, so LCSs could have some sort of LCS variant cover, I picked up the first issue. I like supporting my LCS, and one thing I can do is I can buy, you know, their books, you know, even if it's not something I'm going to read. They do really cool things for the comic book community, and if we kind of reciprocate, it allows them to continue to offer these. So I picked up issue number 1. Here we are 25 issues later. I didn't think Poison Ivy would be a character that I would really engage with. But the way Wilson has been writing her, you know, she's not a hero, but clearly more of, I don't want to say, she's kind of a tragic villain, you know, where she has the right motives. She's just going about it the wrong way. She has a sense of morality and ethics. It just doesn't match what the public at large, society at large, really have. And she does see that, you know, the ends are justified by the means, I guess. But even in this story, she does find herself questioning some of those choices, seeing that she is taking some things too far, and she tries to fix them. And there's zombies in this. So that's issue number 25. It's been an awesome run. At this point, if you're going to read this, you're going to have to get it in trade, because 25 books is a lot to hunt for, unless you're a Poison Ivy fan, and honestly, you would have been pulling the book. Anyway, highly recommend the story. We have the rest are all independent books. This is Exo Man of War Invictus issue number 4. This is a variant cover that has kind of like a more classic trade dress, like the Marvel box in the corner. Due to some shorts and some damaged books, I'm missing, I think, issue number 3. I think that's it. Anyway, so I need to talk to my Buy Me Toys about that. Anyway, love what, let's see, Becky Cloonan did in the first mini she wrote, and then I'm presuming Invictus is great too, but because of shipping issues, I'm really behind. I haven't read any of these. I'm kind of interested to see what Alien Books does with Exo Man of War. Out of all the Valiant characters, he's hands down one of my favorites. And if they continue and they have good stories, I'm going to keep pulling this book. It's great sci-fi. I love kind of the historical elements where they're bringing in this this Germanic tribesman fighting against the Romans and time travel and all that. It's just been a fun read. I've gotten into this. Let's see. I during the pandemic, I I collected all of volume three in back issues. Read the whole volume. Amazing story. Volume four and five have been good too. The volume five was a little weak. Anyway, these minis they've been having have been good. Okay, so I highly recommend Exo Man of War. If you're going to jump in on this, you want to get the mini series Becky Cloonan did before this. I'm drawing a blank on what it's called, but I'll put the name right down there. So anyway, that's the end of that series. So let's see. So far, I have one, two, three series that ended. This is number four. We have Animal Pound. This is another Tom King story. This is last issue. This is an homage to Animal Farm, except in this you deal with dogs and cats and some other animal life in a pound in which the cats conspired with the dogs to take it over. Okay. Issue number three, which was kind of a pause in the story while the creative team took a break, had kind of a cliffhanger. And I've been waiting for the last two issues before I finish this up. It's been kind of fun. I love dogs and cats, and so I'm really enjoying this. In Tom King, I recognize, I acknowledge that for some comic book lovers, he is not their writer. They really don't like his style, but I always have. I enjoyed what he did with Batman and everything since. I do think in miniseries is when he shines, and so far this has been a really great title. I really need to work on that glare. Apologize for that. I think it's an issue with my camera. Anyway, this is another mini that's ending. So this is issue number 5 of Dawn Runner by Ram V. Evan Cagle doing the art. The cover work has been amazing. Because of me jumping on to this late, I haven't read it. I had to wait for my LCS to, here we go. There we go. My LCS to pick up issue number 1 for me. They had to back order it. So I got all 5 issues. I'm going to probably read that this week. Over at Titan Books, Conan in both the main title, Conan the Barbarian, but also the Savage Sword, they've been building to an event, and I love the fact that they've been slow rolling this. I think in Marvel, when they last had the IEP a couple years ago, they tried a similar kind of crossover event with other Robert E. Howard characters, and it just didn't fly. I was not interested in all because honestly, it came out of nowhere. With this one, though, they've been slow rolling this and seeding this story for more than a year. Okay. And it's going to be showing up in both this mini series. It's going to have 4 issues and the Conan Man title and Savage Sword. I'm pulling the other 2 titles. So it was a no-brainer to get this because Zub has really been knocking it out of the park. So this is Conan the Barbarian, Battle of the Black Stone. We have another Robert E. Howard adjacent character with Red Sonja. Adjacent in that the Red Sonja character he created was not a sword and sorcery living in the same time period as Conan. I think she was more of a Renaissance character. Anyway, this is the current run of Red Sonja, issue number 13. And then my last book, probably the book I'm going to read first out of this whole pile, we have Rook Exodus number 5. I cannot recommend any of the Ghost Machine titles enough. They've all been fun reads. I'm pulling Rook Exodus, which is supposed to be kind of a mini series or maxi series, something like that. They're going to be kind of chapters looking at different aspects of this on this planet. And I'm also pulling Redcoat, which is an ongoing, and that's been a lot of fun too. All right, so there you have it. I do have a stack of comics. I appreciate you listening to me to ramble on. Again, please do like, share, subscribe. Hit me up on Instagram if you have any questions, if you want to chat about any of the books I picked up. Leave a comment. I would enjoy the interaction. So I hope everybody has a great week, and don't forget to read more comics.